back to Anime Death Spiral, the only anime podcast brought to you by the magical kingdom of the Walt Disney Company. That's right, folks. We made it. We sold out. We got the bag. We are in servitude to, some may say, the worst entertainment company to have existed in the last 100 years. But we don't say that. We're getting paid a lot of money now to not say that. How does it feel, Remy?
Surely they can't be the worst.
No, of course they can't be the worst. Obviously.
They couldn't possibly be the worst.
Obviously, they're not the worst.
You got to know that there was some companies out there that were like legitimately doing like insanely evil shit.
Like the Chiquita Banana Company.
I mean, yeah, basically. I mean, Disney's obviously, no offense to our paymasters. You're obviously great, but I mean, Disney's kind of garden variety evil, I would say.
Or, more digestible terms for our audience, because I know who you people are. Disney is a lawful evil, maybe even a neutral evil, but not an outright chaotic evil. So I think we're all pretty safe, right?
I don't understand those terms, but I think of it more like Disney's evil, obviously. But, compare Disney to, like, DuPont, When you put it in those terms, I mean, Disney seems like one of the good guys.
Man, I don't know. I don't know after watching that documentary about how fucked up, like, Nickelodeon was in the 90s. I can only imagine all the fucked up shit going on with Disney, like, going back to the 60s and 70s and before that,
I mean, yeah, of course. I assume Disney is also doing all of that stuff, but like DuPont was doing that stuff too, but at the same time creating massive toxic clouds that would just wander from town to town, dissolving people's flesh off their bones. And then like they would pay a few congressmen to like hush it up. And they did that for, 70, 80 years before somebody finally was like, hey, wait a second. The toxic evil clouds all have the DuPont name stamped on them.
But Disney abused copyright law. How about that, huh?
I do think that is truly evil, and they should go straight to hell for that.
Yeah.
But I have, like I talked about recently.
Sorry. No, he didn't mean that. Let's move on. My producer is telling us that we need to move on to another topic. So let's talk about the new product a little bit. Remy, you're familiar with the new Twisted Wonderland.
The Twisted Wonderland tea, their new alcoholic spritzer. Marketed specifically to children.
It's the biggest. They've got such a racket going at Disneyland with the whole like no alcohol, but if you buy $100 ticket to go across the street to California Adventure, you can get blasted as much as you want.
Oh, I had alcohol at Disneyland. I mentioned recently that I went to Disneyland for the first time since I could form memories.
This is where they courted the podcast with this deal.
They took me to the back rooms. And I got to wander through a labyrinthine liminal space that was filled with nightmarish beings from the furthest reaches of my subconscious.
I imagine it's like that scene at the end of The Shining where Shelley Duvall is just running from room to room and seeing like spooky shit, fake skeletons.
Yeah, skeletons and people covered in blood and
Mickey Mouse giving somebody a blowjob.
You know what's funny about that scene? She kind of like moves like a Muppet. Like when she runs,
I know exactly what you're talking
runs
about.
like a Muppet.
She's got like her arms adorable. Kind of like up and her wrists are flailing.
She's kind of like bouncing up and down, and she has like a very like long, lanky body, like a little bit of a beaker silhouette to her. I mean, I love her. She's so great.
I think that works really well for that character and for that scene. It's
good.
It's really displaying like how she is forcing herself to run when her body would rather just go limp from fear.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
On my most recent rewatch, it just, it's one of those things that really stood out to me. I've watched The Shining a bunch of times, and like I'm way past the point where I'm like looking for like in the background there's like the Apollo launch, and that really says something about, American Manifest Destiny. I'm like, no, I don't care about that stuff anymore. Now I'm like, Shelley Duvall runs like a Muppet. That's more of the stuff that I'm finding in that movie as I rewatch it over and over again, you know?
Yeah. Man, I love that movie. Almost as much as I love gambling with Disney characters.
Sure. And there was a little bit of that. But at Disneyland, I just want to say you can get the juice.
You can get the juice. You can get the juice now.
Like proper Disneyland.
Okay.
They're selling the juice. I got the juice.
Okay.
Including at that new Disney, the Disney Star Wars land, they were selling Star Wars juice.
Was it alcoholic though? Because I was under the impression that was just regular juice.
No, very alcoholic juice.
Okay.
Very alcoholic juice.
You had a little fun at the cantina, huh?
Yeah, but they only sell you 2. I was very insulted. I was like, I am an adult man.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So they're selling the juice, but they're still limiting you.
Yes, they're limiting
where
you.
You can go across the street to California Adventure and get wasted on beer in the parents' tent.
I mean, yeah, but they're still selling it. I imagine if I went to enough individual establishments within Disneyland, I could probably get pretty wasted. If I set my day up, my one Disneyland day up entirely around the concept of getting as fucked up as possible.
You think you could do that?
I could definitely
you think you could pull it off?
I could do it. I could definitely pull it off. And I'm not to brag, but I'm not a lightweight.
Next time they invite us back to the park, we'll put that to the test.
You know what? I would like to see that. I would like to see that roadmap because it's a pretty big park, and you burn off a lot of alcohol walking from place to place.
I mean, let me tell you, I've been to Tokyo Disney, and they do not give a fuck. You can get a goddamn breakfast beer over there, 9 a.m. in the morning, and I did.
Yeah, are people still smoking over there in the park?
No smoking in the park, but they do have like special smoking hyperbaric chambers that you can go into.
Oh, sick, with like fans that suck all the smoke straight up.
Oh, no. There's no ventilation. You go into a box and you hotbox cigarette smoke with with other smokers. It's insane.
You're just standing there with strangers.
Yeah.
Just hotboxing a little fucking capsule.
And that's not just Disneyland. That's everywhere. They have that at the airport. Like, I was waiting to get on my flight to go home, and I'm right across from the big smoking glass cubicle.
Wow.
It's a giant glass cube that's just like it's made of frosted glass, but you wouldn't need to do that because it's filled with smoke. And every time someone walked in there, you would see the cigarette smoke billow out into the rest of the airport whenever they open the door.
Man, there's just a public demoralization campaign against smokers. You know, it's almost as bad as the discrimination against drunk drivers. One of the most oppressed classes in our modern society.
It's true. When are we going to think of the drunk drivers? When do they get their turn at the wheel?
Drunk drivers need to assert their rights. But now that you mentioned Tokyo Disney, there was some Twisted Wonderland rep there, right?
Yeah. Actually, that's why that was my first interaction with what Twisted Wonderland was, because
none of them at Disney proper, by the way. I just want to say that. None
really?
At Disney proper. No. And no Kingdom Hearts either.
It has always pissed me off how much Kingdom Hearts gets sidelined by American Disney. I just want to say that.
0 Kingdom Hearts at Disneyland when I went, and I looked for it.
Wow. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So the subway system has a special designated line that you can get onto from any main JP owned subway line in Tokyo that'll take you straight to the park. And so you get on there, and as soon as you get off, like, you're in this giant train station corridor that's just lined with poster holders. And when I went, they were all filled with different character, like, pinups, basically, of the sexy male characters you can play as. And I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking, like, all right, Twisted Wonderland, on the way to Disney, like, this is something. This is a licensed something to do with Disney, because it was, all the posters were in Japanese, and I do not speak Japanese. I refuse to.
Sure.
I will not learn.
Of course. You're too old. Your brain elasticity has hardened.
Exactly. And so, I'm staring angrily at these posters of sexy high school boys and trying to figure out what the connection is to Disney. And suddenly I figure out that they're all dressed kind of coded to specific Disney villains, like they're all aesthetically in line with those. So you have
let's go down the list.
Yeah,
we've got the Red Queen.
You got Hades.
We got Scar.
You got Jafar.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They really should have left that one off, man.
You've got Ursula. You've got the evil queen from Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah.
Maleficent?
The federal government from Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, no, that's not one of them.
No? That's not?
No, that's not one. What's more actually, here's the thing. It's not actually Ursula. For whatever reason, I figured out the Little Mermaid class isn't modeled after Ursula. It's modeled after the shark that chases Ariel and Flounder around at the beginning of the movie.
Bruce?
No, that's from Finding Nemo. Different shark. Come on, keep up.
Sure, right.
Oh, what?
Right.
You think all great white sharks are the same? You one of those guys?
I think so. Yeah, they're all the same.
you harbor anti-great white sentiment.
I come from a long lineage of great whites.
Oh God. But yeah, the shark from the beginning of Little Mermaid is actually what that house, and that's why all of the sexy anime boys have shark teeth. Like they have those anime shark teeth thing that they do. You know what I'm talking about?
That's a real cop-out.
I know.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's real stupid. I think that's all of them.
They should have done Cardinal Richelieu from Hunchback. That would have been a great one. Just an evil Catholic house.
Why didn't they do, what's his name? Cardinal Frodo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Frollo.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, at least then it would make sense why there aren't any women around at this school.
Yeah.
All right.
They're burying Hunchback. Hunchback does not exist in Disney canon anymore. They're vaulting Hunchback.
Yeah, no, they're getting rid of that one. Sorry, Jason
Yeah.
Alexander. You've been booted from the canon. Just like they're
It's a
trying to
bummer.
leave Pocahontas behind. You know, conspiracy theory, they created Moana so that they could phase out Pocahontas.
I don't really get that one because, sure, okay, offensive stereotyping, obviously, but like Pocahontas is the good guy. They didn't do a thing where also both sides, right? Like in the movie, the Native Americans are clearly the good guys in this scenario.
What? No. Do you not remember that movie at all?
No, I watched it once when I was 8 years old.
They have an entire song in that movie about how the Indians see the colonizers just as much as savages as they do us. The song was literally about how it's both sides.
I don't get it.
Anyway, unfortunately, there was no Pocahontas evil greedy pilgrim villain house either in Twisted Wonderland.
Sure. That would have been a real disaster, I do have to say. I mean, that is a smart exclusion.
Yeah.
I wish they had kept that same energy for the Aladdin house, but whatever.
All right. I guess we should just summarize it here. We watched the first episode of the Twisted Wonderland spin-off anime, and Twisted Wonderland is the phone app / gotcha game about sexy anime boys going to a Harry Potter school, but instead of houses, instead of Gryffindor and Slytherin and all that, they have houses based off of the various Disney villains. And so
yeah. I've played this game. I mentioned it before.
Well, yeah, you're a big fan. You spend a lot of money to get those Draconis pulls. I know that you were Team Maleficent in that game.
You gotta be.
Yeah.
You simply have to be.
You gotta be. They're the sexiest ones.
She's the best one. We all know that, right? We're all in agreement there.
Yeah, I think we're
is
all
the
in
best
agreement. Now, I will say though, personally, I have a pretty big soft spot for James Woods as Hades. Just saying, I think that's actually a really good performance. It may be my favorite James Woods role in cinema.
Look, he's great. I mean, he's an awful person, but what actor isn't? Let's be real.
Literally all of them are bad people. And I have
bad.
science to back that up.
I think his Simpsons role is pretty damn good.
That's also a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But okay, so you're familiar with the game app, and I am not. I was familiar with the posters, and I was unprepared when we watched this episode for it to be an isekai. Is that explicitly laid out in the lore of the phone game? Are you the player? Like, are you supposed to have been isekai'd into this sexy Disney school?
It's a little vague. I mean, more vague certainly than the anime, where there is a very specific guy who goes through a very specific process and ends up in Disney Hogwarts. But it is like, oh, you are this new clueless student who has arrived at this thing, and you need a cutesy mascot character to talk you through about 4 or 5 hours of tutorials in which you are just mashing the continue button, which made me very surprised that mascot character does not, in fact, play the same role in the anime.
Yeah.
Which is just sitting there explaining everything to you, the viewer.
So in the game app, the weird little mascot thing, which is kind of like a spectral cat of some sorts, you know.
It's a cat. It's a black cat.
It's a cat, but it's got like a big bow on its back that kind of looks like butterfly wings sometimes, and it can talk, and it's got like a Charmander tail with a little flame at the end of it. And so you say in the app that's like a tutorial kind of thing. It explains the tutorial to you. In the anime, basically, summary of events of what happened is our main character is a kendo guy. He likes hitting swords at school, and he gets isekai'd by getting run over by a headless horseman carriage. And he wakes up at Disney Hogwarts in the middle of their, like, sorting ceremony. Or they're in their, beginning of the school year ceremony. And then the tutorial cat jumps through the window and starts breathing fire on everything. Is that how the episode ended?
The episode ended with the deeply repressed and furious Twink threatening to put a BDSM collar on the main isekai protagonist. While the rest of the, I suppose, new student body, or maybe the second years,
the incoming student body,
putting out a massive house fire that nobody seemed particularly bothered by, because I guess the flames are not actually hot. Nobody seemed to be being burned by the flames.
And after they put the flames out, nothing was burned or damaged in any way.
Well, that's just magic. I mean,
magic. I mean, was it magical illusion fire? Because people were freaking out, and the little mascot cat that was breathing fire and everything seemed to be doing it with the intention of hurting people, because like the headmaster wizard like comes in and he's wearing like a weird what do you call it? Like a plague doctor kind of Venetian mask thing with like a long beak.
Well, he has a crow theme. He's a Crowley.
He's
Aleister
a crow
Crowley.
guy, yeah. His name is Crowley. His name is Crowley.
Aleister Crowley. Mm-hmm. And he does magic.
And he's like, we got to put this fire out before the students get hurt. But then he just spends the entire time kind of like casually talking to the cat and be like, hey, what are you doing here, cat? And the cat's
you're a
like,
rascal.
You rascal. And the cat's like, you won't let me in he doesn't want to be in your school. He doesn't even know what's going on. Let me take his place. And he's like, no, we don't let cats learn how to read. And the cat started setting things on fire after that.
Yes, despite Disney's obvious talking animal bent over the course of its entire existence, this Disney house seems to very aggressively discriminate against talking animals.
They do not like them.
Yeah.
Against the rules.
Very odd.
Well, the inciting incident for the ending of the episode is the cat shooting a blast of fire at the repressed Twink, who's kind of like the best boy. He's like the school prince.
No, I don't get that. I don't get that impression at all.
I thought that he was like hot shit. That was the impression that I was getting from his character.
No, he is like the psycho kiss-ass prefect who is like way too into like rules and his teacher.
Oh, okay. He's a little suck up.
Not a prince type. Yeah, he's like an insane.
He's a little weasel.
Yeah, he's like an ethics committee like freak.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But he does seem to be one of the most talented at like evil magic stuff that we've seen so far.
And he's like he's standing off with the cat, and when he gets, our main character thinks that he's going to get hurt from the fire that isn't burning or hurting anybody else. And so he does a dramatic tackle to get him out of the way, and then that's like their meet cute.
Yeah, and then he tries to put the BDSM collar on him. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a me problem, and I recognize this within myself. These are emotions that I have to work through. It makes me uncomfortable to see the tsundere role positioned as male on male.
You don't like that. You don't like the BL.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying I was unexpected. I was not expecting it, and I was taken off guard by it. It makes you reevaluate character dynamics and a lot of other stuff.
I found,
that incited personal strong feelings in me. So in that case, I have to actually designate this as this episode was art. It made me feel things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A strong emotional reaction.
Yeah.
I had less of a strong emotional reaction, mainly because nothing happened in this episode as far as really actually establishing characters beyond their immediate stereotype or, giving our main character a motivation as to what he is supposed to be doing in this story. We did not particularly establish what the world is because we were locked into one location, which is a very generic burning church thing, assembly hall with pews. And the magic was pretty much limited to guys going, "Oh, I'm on fire," until the BDSM collar moment, which was very strange. This was another very good example of how you can really not do anything correctly at all in a first episode and just still get away with it, just on the strength of like being an anime.
Well, it's even more than that. It's an officially sanctioned anime about sexy Disney, which is
sexy Disney,
gay sexy Disney.
Yeah,
I think that's progress.
In what direction?
This is art. This is art, and this is progress.
Progress towards where?
Those are my final feelings about Twisted Wonderland.
Where's the progression heading? What are we progressing to?
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't
the fact
matter.
Is that we're going. The direction
gas.
Doesn't matter, Remy. The fact is that we're going forward, wherever forward may be. All right.
Wherever the Disney princes will take us.
Yeah.
I find it to be overwhelmingly generic in a way that makes me like hard to grasp, like hold within my mind. It's like slippery. I don't know what to make of it because I cannot seem to retain basically anything from it. It was like as if I was trying to remember the face of somebody I saw in a crowd for like 1 second. That's kind of how I'm trying to like frame this episode. There is nothing to latch onto here.
No, I being serious, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, it is a spin-off anime of a phone gacha game. They're not all going to be Uma Musume Pretty Derby. Like, let's just face up to it. This was never going to be the next Uma Musume, which is what they're angling for, but they missed out on one crucial key. Boys don't run. Those boys, they're not running.
They're not runners.
Not runners.
They are working with a harder premise because Uma Musume has a built-in hook, which is that they have to run and race against each other.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need anything else.
What is the competition? Is it to be the sexiest Disney boy? Is that what they're all competing towards?
I have no idea. To be the most magical one, I have no fucking clue. We don't have any stakes at all. Whereas in Uma Musume, I mean, racing itself is so compelling that like NASCAR, it is $1 billion industry.
When are we going to get NASCAR cars with Uma wraps on them?
Oh, we don't have those already?
Not that I've seen officially.
Okay, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. I bet there's some F1 cars that have some side games.
I've seen a lot of Forza cars with Uma wraps on them.
Oh, well, there's plenty of Forza wraps. But like official F1 side games advertisement wraps, I bet are coming. You know what? Hold on, I'm going to look that up. Let's see. Okay, side games, F1. Yeah, here we go. Cygames appointed main sponsor of French G1 Grand Prix de Paris to be held as the Cygames Grand Prix.
Oh, shit.
That is wild. Now, that's not F1. That is like actual horse racing. It's like real actual horse racing.
We've come full circle.
In some ways, it's kind of crazy in itself.
In Ouroboros, if you will.
That is actually a little terrifying. But yeah, outside of Disneyland resorts, there's really no other kind of cross-branding that you could do with this particular gacha game.
No. Although, let's not discount the draw of a officially sanctioned like Disney Twisted Wonderland Prince Cafe within the parks.
Prince Cafe. I was gonna think like if they were more adventurous, they would sponsor some like drag king events.
Yeah, there's no way. Not yet. Not in this economy.
That would be great.
It would be really cool. It would be really amazing if they did that. But, I don't think that Disney is willing to reckon its complicated relationship with the queer community just at this moment. Not just yet.
Again, well, maybe that's where we're progressing towards, because all these characters did come off to me as drag kings. Like, that was the aura of every character, except for maybe the main guy.
And, well, yeah, his whole thing is that in the real world, he's a kendo jock. He's like captain of the kendo team. And then he gets transported to basically Twink Castle. Is it a romance thing? Because it feels like they're very specifically setting him up, with the morals committee guy. Like that seems to be like the intended trajectory.
Oh yeah, they're going to be odd coupled for sure. Yeah, that is definitely where we're going. But romance, I believe, is going to be subtextual.
Yeah. Well, it was my understanding that as subtextual as it is, the romance thing was the point of gotcha pulling for these characters in the app. Because once you get the character, you can do their little storyline or whatever, where they eventually, have furtive glances at you. Maybe I'm wrong. Was that not the point of the app?
Well, the app is to just collect anime boys, like most of these apps. That's pretty much it. I didn't actually make it too far because honestly, like, so much of the game is mashing through dialogues that it's really draining. It's like really draining.
So are you gonna continue on? Are you gonna keep following Twisted Wonderland, the animation, episode of Heart Slabule?
I'm going to read recaps, I think.
You're gonna go and watch YouTube recap lore videos.
Yeah, exactly. That are about half as long as the episodes.
Oh no, they're going to be longer than the episodes themselves. I can assure you of that.
Yeah, I think that's about it. That's Disney Twisted Wonderland T.
Yeah. All right. Well, we still got a little bit of time left. We did watch something else when we were watching anime the other day. Do you want to intro this one or should I?
I mean, this is a show you were interested in.
It's true.
Why don't you tell me why you wanted to watch this in the first place? Because you did insist on it.
I did insist on it. Okay, so this is something that was on my list from when we were looking at the upcoming season a few weeks ago, and it caught my eye because I thought the premise was rather charming. We watched the first episode of an anime called may I have one final request, which is the current big villainous anime this season, with the plot basically being our quote-unquote villainous isn't actually villainous. She is not evil by nature. She is actually someone who has been put into the difficult political position of an arranged marriage to a shithead who is higher up on the ladder than her. In this case, she is like a duke's daughter or something, and she is engaged to marry a prince of the kingdom. Not the first prince we find out, the second one. And he's just a real asshole. Just a real piece of shit. And so to vent her frustration at being like betrothed to this douchebag and having to put up with all of his bullshit, she gets just really, really good at punching. That's her thing. She's a punch girl. And I thought that was kind of an interesting premise because, one, it's obviously cribbing on the concept of like One Punch Man. Like that's her thing, is that, she can clock anybody, to knock them right out.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call that One Punch Manning. It's more like just she uses unbridled violence with the assuredness that no one's going to punch her back because she's an aristocratic lady.
Well, yes. Yeah. I think the intended takeaway from this character is that we are supposed to be amused by the juxtaposition of her being a aristocratic lady and also being very into unbridled violence. I don't think the implication that people can't fight back against her is intentionally there in the narrative. In fact, I think when all of the other lords and ladies start running away from her when she goes on a rampage, is supposed to be more comical at the fact look at how afraid of her all of these people are, because she's really good at punching. Now, two things I did not understand, or that I did not know about this anime going into it. One, I did not know that it was going to feature a magic system, which I feel dumb for assuming that it didn't, or that it wouldn't, because all of these...
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't put that together.
It's pretty bog standard for the genre.
It is the genre.
It is the genre, but I was not thinking about it, and so I was immediately less charmed by her punching when she's punching with magical aids, performance enhancing spells, if you will.
Also, she wears brass knuckles. Come on, that is obviously cheating.
No, I think that's the cool part. I like that about her. I think that if she was just a regular lady punching people with brass knuckles, that would be far more entertaining. I have no problem with that. I don't think brass knuckles is cheating. I think that's funny.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just the magic.
It's just the magic. And then the other thing that I didn't know going into it, which I guess kind of ties in to the magic part, is that I didn't think that it was explicitly within the villainous genre, because the couple of trailers that I saw didn't paint her as well, first of all, villainous kind of tends to be isekai, most of the time, right? It's someone getting sent into their favorite visual novel or otome game or romance novel or something, and they're embodying a character.
Yeah, that's the larger share of the subgenre.
Yeah. Which is not what's going on here. She's this is just one of those faux isekai situations where everything is set up like it's a 90s JRPG video game. But they just don't call attention to that fact. They just assume, or they just pretend like that is how the natural laws of this world works, like having a mana points and learning spells and all of that. So those two aspects of it I was unprepared for, and it definitely threw me off. And then I think what kind of sealed the deal for both of us is that the first episode is set up with her shitty ex, or her shitty fiance, the prince, canceling their betrothal in front of the entire court because he found a hotter girl that he likes better. And so he's like, screw you, I'm canceling this. And her lunging into a punch towards him and his new fiance. And then it kind of like, does
hold
the
on.
frame...
No. You are misrepresenting that. She makes it very clear that instead of punching the dumb asshole, she is going to wallop this innocent woman. Like, she is intending to do violence against the one other female person in the entire room.
Okay, well, in her defense, that lady was being a real cunt about the whole thing. She was obviously enjoying the spectacle of her getting humiliated.
The episode and the entire premise of the show is based on the idea that she was tortured since childhood by this dumb asshole that she was engaged to for, 6 years old by her father. This guy has ritually humiliated her every day of her entire existence. This other girl... She says has literally never met her until that moment. And when she chooses to punch, which is the premise of the entire show, she chooses to punch the woman who at best gossiped a little bit about her and made up some lies so that she could maintain her status as an aristocratic woman navigating a patriarchal system. She chooses her violence to be bestowed upon this one other lady who probably understands her position more than any other fucking person in that room. This is fucking insane. I mean, literally, I lost my mind at this show. Not to jump ahead, but I could not fucking believe that this is how they introed this show. A villainous anime that begins with the most explicit moment of misogyny that you could even imagine. I mean, yes, she goes on to punch a bunch of other people, but a show that is about a woman who uses violence, immediately uses violence on another woman who cannot fight back socially or physically. This is very bad. This is very bad. It
was a real shocker when they started off the show with her punching that other lady.
She's not a villainess. She's just a bad person. It really makes me a lot less sympathetic as we move on from the opening scene into her flashback exposition of her entire life story up to that point where she is, like I said, ritualistically humiliated by her fiance over and over again every single day until she strikes up a kind of flirty friendship with the dude's brother.
Who also ends up being an asshole.
It makes me go, I don't care. Yeah, who is also an asshole, but they're all assholes. Everyone on the show seems to be an asshole.
All of these people are bad.
It really makes me a lot less sympathetic to her at all. And that is such the most generic possible setup for the dramatic, tragic heroine story, especially in kind of the subverted Jane Eyre, Emily Bronte style of aristocratic tales of put upon women. This is the easiest slam dunk in the world, right? That they've tried to put a fun twist on by making her explicitly a violent person. In the isekai way where people are just openly flaunting power fantasies.
Yeah.
Which, again, seems like such an incredibly easy slam dunk for this genre. But in the one moment that they pay off their premise, it is such a tragically flawed version of this entire execution of this concept that it makes me hate her and the show. Truly fucking awful. I hate this show.
So it sounds like it made you feel a strong emotional reaction.
It certainly did. It did do that. My reaction was more how do you get a job, one of the very few jobs in a packed industry full of people who are willing to work themselves to death for no money, very competitive? How do you take that opportunity and do this with it? You could do anything. Like we say all the time, you could do anything. And you choose to do this. You are not only incompetent and like clearly unsuited for the creative arts to begin with, but like you are a dumb, bad person. You shouldn't read artists through their art. I know. But like, let's make an exception here. Whoever was writing this is a dumb, bad person. And the people who allowed it to reach this point where it is being broadcast as a real anime are dumb, bad people themselves. And it really sheds a very negative light on an industry that has already wrought true human suffering across multiple continents.
It's a talent to take it lower when you thought you were already at rock bottom.
Yeah, I know. And there are so many awful, horrible, offensive anime too, but like they really found a way to like put a new spin on being like an awful, horrible anime that I in one way I do kind of respect. Like, wow, what a way to like make your mark on being a bad anime. You really did something interesting and innovative with being a bad piece of shit anime, but that doesn't make me hate the end product less.
So, wrapping it up real quick, between this and Twisted Wonderland, would you say you enjoyed the former more?
Yeah, I think Twisted Wonderland looks like a stroke of genius in every regard compared to One Punch Villainous, for sure. I think that One Punch Villainous should be eradicated from all like dimensions and timelines as quickly as possible. We need a Doctor Who to get in here and like reset the universe.
This anime truly hates women.
It's crazy.
I think that's the only way you can really conceptualize it. It is an anti-women anime, more so than others.
Oh, and you know, isekai tends to be a pretty misogynistic genre, which obviously trickles down into its subgenres, right?
Yeah.
Though villainesses are supposed to be kind of the more female empowerment of the entire set, just by default, you know? So in that way, it is, again, kind of impressive. I have to say, you got to give it up a little bit.
Yes, you have to give it up a little bit.
You have to give it up. Man, you know, sometimes anime is just really, really bad.
Well, that's why we're here, to watch all this stuff so that they don't have to. It's a public service, Remy. We took on this responsibility for the fans, for the community.
I know, and I know when we went over the list of anime from this season 2, and I really thought, like, there's no way this could be one of the really bad ones, right? I mean, look at this list.
It looks, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to watch it, because from the outside, it looks a lot more innocuous than it actually is. You know, this was so much worse after getting in there. Twisted Wonderland is pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be on the surface level, you know? There were no twists in terms of how I viewed it after watching that episode. This one completely different after the way that character acted.
Yeah. I think I hate anime again, like legitimately. I might have to like take a while to calm down from this one.
We've come out the other side. Oh boy. Let's take some time and think on this one a little bit more. Try and cleanse our palate a little bit. For the time being, do you want to wrap up the episode?
Yeah. Come and stop by the social medias if you want. Yell at us if you love this show. Actually, I would really love that. Really come out and expose yourself if you like this show. I would love to have a chat with you and examine your brain. Really get in there Hannibal style and poke around. Do that. Go watch the TikToks, watch the Instagram reels, follow us on Instagram. That account needs way more followers. Watch some anime, not from this season, but maybe some of the old stuff. Gachi Yakuda's still running. You can watch that.
Yeah.
Watch old anime. Go back and watch some old anime. It's still there. Still good. Doesn't go bad.
Okay, if you have an old anime that you want us to watch, I'll watch it and we'll talk about it. I'm that easy.
Oh, yeah. We'll bribe you. We'll bribe you by watching old anime.
We'll bribe you.
Yeah. I said a little while ago that I kind of wanted to go back and watch some anime from World War II era, some of the propaganda film anime.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun to watch. Just to get, see what are the real depths of anime? How far down can we go?
Oh, it's so much farther down, my friend.
Yeah.
It's so much farther.
Well, I guess we'll find out next episode of Anime Death Spiral. Till then, bye. Droids, space, bounty hunter, lightsaber, lasers, the Force sometimes, and weird-looking aliens.